Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got to give a massive shout out and success story to Ubisoft. Not only are you the #1 pre-ordered game on Amazon currently, as if that's a metric of success apparently now, but you are also the #1 most disliked trailer ever for Assassin's Creed with Assassin's Creed Shadow, and we're going to get into it in this article. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, the pre-orders mean absolutely nothing. Just a reference for you. Suicide Squad was one of the #1 pre-ordered games available, and look how that game turned out.
Strange emotions.
We have an article here from That Park Place with a headline that reads, Assassin's Creed Shadows makes franchise history with the most disliked trailer of all time. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, shout out again to Assassin's Creed Shadow, featuring a very prominent samurai by the name of Yasuke, who's going to represent all of feudal Japan, ladies and gentlemen. You guys deserve it, man. I mean, listen, this is what you want. This is what you want. This is what your shills want. This is what the DEI metrics and ESG funding have demanded of you, and we are here, and we're going to make it happen. So let's get into the article, guys, from That Park Place. But, of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, just to preface this entire video, I mean, I've made so many videos about Assassin's Creed Shadows at this point, there's really not much more to say, but to sum it up for those of you who might not have seen it, at the end of the day, Yasuke was a real person. He was essentially a side character in an overall story of Nobunaga, and he was only in Japan for 15 months, and Ubisoft saw an opportunity, and they took it. That's basically it, man. Ubisoft saw the opportunity to do what they really want to do with their games, and to input DEI when there really shouldn't be. Like, you should have had a male samurai, a male Japanese samurai represent all of Japan. It's the same reason why you wouldn't have a Japanese man represent all of Africa. But again, here we are, you know, and it is what it is. They're trying to fall back on the real historical figure nonsense, as if they ever fell back on that in any Assassin's Creed prior. It's amazing to me how in every single Assassin's Creed, the fictional character that they had lead the game had their ethnicity and their race based in the country of origin that the game took place, but then they suddenly got to Japan and they're like, yep, we're gonna go historical. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why you decided to go with a real historical figure. It's because it would allow you to use the excuse as to why you wanted to use Yasuke, and then you're like, oh, well, you can play as a Japanese person. You can play as a Japanese female shinobi. That's clearly what all you guys want, right? Yeah, nobody thought that, right? Like 5-10 years ago, if you asked someone, hey, what would an Assassin's Creed game look like in feudal Japan, what would you think the answer would be? You think everybody would say, oh yeah, it's gonna be a black samurai and a female shinobi. Yeah, nobody would have said that whatsoever. Let's be real here. But again, nobody likes honesty. Everybody just wants to pretend as if we're supposed to shill for Yasuke, the side character of fucking Nobunaga. It's just ridiculous. Assassin's Creed Shadow made Assassin's Creed franchise history by having the most disliked trailer of all time. The official world premiere of the... Well, honestly, that really shouldn't have been very hard. I don't think many of the other trailers were ever disliked very much. The official world premiere of the trailer on Ubisoft's YouTube channel has 7.1 million views, 265,000 likes, and over 595,000 dislikes, almost 600,000. It says, as a point of comparison, the Assassin's Creed Mirage cinematic world premiere had 8.7 million views since it's been released back in September in 2022. It has only 9,700 dislikes compared to 229,000 likes. It says, looking back even further to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the official premiere trailer was released in the Ubisoft North America channel. It garnered 9.4 million views since its debut on April 30th, 2020. It racked up 325,000 likes and received only 15 dislikes. Holy shit. Wow. I mean, the comparisons, listen, this is what happens when you decide you don't want to represent a group of people the proper way. I mean, it just is what it is, right? Like, if you represented a group of people properly in every other game that you made, right? You made characters that had their ethnicity and races in the country of which the game took place. I can keep saying that till I'm blue in the face. That rhymed, by the way. But still, like, that is what happens when you decide to completely change up what you've been doing with the last few Assassin's Creed and then pretend like, oh, well, no, we just wanted to tell an accurate historical story. So we went with this person who's a real person, a real historical person in history. And yeah, you just got to take everything we're saying about it. Yeah, we just picked the best guy for the role. Clearly, Yasuke is the best guy to represent feudal Japan. 100% without a doubt. Without a doubt. So again, it's a story they want to try to sell you, but I mean, here we are. The 2018 premiere trailer for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which was posted to the Ubisoft North American YouTube channel, received almost 7 million views. It received 74,000 likes and 8,600 dislikes. That's interesting. I didn't realize that one had that many dislikes. In 2017, Assassin's Creed Origins received almost 7 million views. It received 89,000 likes and 10,000 dislikes. Now, that one, a lot of people didn't seem to like. I mean, it's kind of like 50-50, to be honest with you. Origins was like, okay. I don't know. People are kind of iffy about that one. It says the game is receiving significant pushback for featuring Yasuke, a historical figure of African descent in the game that is set in Japan, rather than a male Japanese samurai. Two of the top comments on the trailer, translated from Japanese, read European and American game companies. In order to avoid racial discrimination, black characters must be included in games to ensure the diversity of characters and subvert stereotypes. The same European and American game companies, we decided to put a black samurai in a game with a Japanese background. His mission is to kill various Asians. Thank you, Ubisoft. Oh my God. I love the fact that the woke media is refusing to acknowledge the Asian people that are very unhappy with this stuff. There is obviously some Asian people that are going to be okay with it. You know, I've seen some comments from people that are like, you know, kind of 50-50, right? But I've also seen plenty of angry comments from Asian people that are not happy over the fact that they chose Yasuke, of all people, to represent feudal Japan. It's not about the fact that you put a black person in the game, because as we said before, he is a historical figure. It's about the fact that you chose someone that was literally only in Japan for 15 months to represent all of feudal Japan. You chose a foreigner to represent all of feudal Japan when you've never done this before. You have never featured a character that wasn't outside of the country of origin or the race or ethnicity of which the game took place. You've never done that, and now you're doing that. It's ridiculous. And then people want to be disingenuous and bring up Neo. Well, let me tell you what happened with Neo, okay? Everybody's like, well, you accepted a white samurai with Neo. Number one, Assassin's Creed historical context, right? It's never been accurate, but it's been historical context. It's obviously been taking place and showcasing certain events with their own spin on it. Neo, that's totally fucking different. Neo is a game about fucking demons at the end of the day. Like, Neo is a fantastical story. That's what it is. It's all fantasy. It's not meant to be anything that's historically, you know, semi-accurate or whatever, like Assassin's Creed is. And number two, people did give shit with Neo being whitewashed. People did give shit about Neo having a white samurai. If you go back to the forum posts, go look. If you go back to the forum posts and the articles about Neo back in the day when it first came out, you're going to see a whole bunch of wokies talking about, oh, why are we featuring a white samurai? What is with this white savior complex? What is this? What is that? Everybody was complaining about it until the Japanese studio, which, by the way, Japanese studio, who decided to represent their game themselves that way, they came out and said, well, actually, he's based off of a real samurai. He's based off of someone who historically was actually able to attain samurai status, and we decided to make him based off that. And then that's when people kind of shut up at the end of the day, right? When the Japanese came out and said that, that's when everybody gave up the whole whitewashing thing, which is why in Neo 2, I feel like they went a totally different route to try to avoid the backlash that they got the first time. But everybody who brings up Neo, it's as if they never played the game. It's as if they never were there when it actually went down, which chances are that's probably true. They never were there and they never actually played it. They just Googled white samurai, saw that game, and they're like, gotcha, bitch. And it's like, no, that's not the case. People were complaining about Neo 100%. And then eventually people let it go once the studio came out and spoke out against it. So again, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Assassin's Creed Shadows, continuing the absolute failure of Ubisoft. And if you think the pre-orders are any indication of a massively successful game, I got news for you. Suicide Squad thought the same exact thing, and look at their player base now. Now, obviously, I think Ubisoft is going to produce a better game and is going to get a bigger fan base than Suicide Squad. Let's just put that out there. I'm being honest with you. I think Assassin's Creed is not going to fail. I just don't think it's going to do as well as people who are on the woke side are probably thinking. But time will tell whether or not that's true or not. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.